and Surah 18, the cave, and this along with 76, 62, 32, 76, 62, 32, and 50 is very good to say on Friday, but this in particular, Surah al-Kahf, Kahf, yeah, gotta remember the H. If you can't say the whole thing, say the first 10, or say the last 10 verses. In the name of God, the compassionate, the merciful, praise be to God, who hath sent down the book to his servant, and hath not made it tortuous. Oh, not tortuous. Praise be to God. In the name of God, the compassionate, the merciful, praise be to God, who hath sent down the book to his servant, and hath not made it tortuous, but direct, that he may warn of a grievous woe from him, and announce to the faithful who do the things that are right, that a goodly reward, wherein they shall abide forever, awaiteth them, and that it may warn those who say, God hath begotten a son. No knowledge of this have either of they or their fathers. A grievous saying to come out of their mouths, they speak no other than a lie. And happily, if they believe not in this new revelation, thou wilt slay thyself on their very footsteps out of vexation. Verily, we have made all that is on earth as its adornment, and that we might make trial among mankind would exceed in works. But we are surely about to reduce all that is thereon to dust. Hast thou reflected that the inmates of the cave and al-Raqim, the inscription, were one of our wondrous signs? Gibbon's Rise and Fall narrates something similar. Rise and Fall of the Roman Empire. When the youths betook them to the cave, they said, O our Lord, grant us mercy from before thee, and order for us our affair aright. And remember, in regards to that, it's a pedagogical sort of, here's how to live life. This is what those verses teach. Although we do have more detail about the end times, but, it teaches us more how to act and connect to God in those times. Then struck we upon their ears with deafness in the cave for many a year. Then we awake them, that we might know which of the two parties could best reckon the space of their abiding. We will relate to thee their tale with truth. They were youths who had believed in their Lord, and in guidance had we increased them, and we had made them stout of heart, when they stood up and said, Our Lord is Lord of the heavens and of the earth. We will call on no other God than him, for in that case we had said a thing outrageous. These our people have taken other gods besides him, though they bring no clear proof for them, but who more iniquitous than he who forgeth a lie of God. So when ye shall have separated you from them, and from that which they worship besides God, and betake you to the cave. Your Lord will unfold his mercy to you, and will order your affairs for you to the best. And thou mightest have seen the sun when it arose pass on the right of their cave, and when it set leave them on the left, while they were in the spacious chamber. This is one of the signs of God. Guided indeed is he whom God guideth, but for him whom he misleadeth, thou shalt by no means find a patron, director, and thou wouldst have deemed them awake, though they were sleeping, and we turned them to the right and to the left, and in the entry lay their dog with paws outstretched. Hadst thou come suddenly upon them, thou wouldst surely have turned thy back on them in flight, and have been filled with fear at them. So we awakened them, that they might question one another. Said one of them, How long have ye tarried here? And they said, We have tarried a day, or part of a day. They said, Your Lord knoweth best how long ye have tarried. Send now one of you with this your coin into the city, and let him mark who therein hath purest food, and from him let him bring you a supply, and let him be courteous, and not discover you to any one. For they, if they find you out, will stone you, or turn you back to their faith, and in that case it will fare ill with you forever. And thus made we their adventure known to their fellow citizens, that they might learn that the promise of God is true, and that as to the hour, there is no doubt of its coming. When they disputed among themselves concerning what had befallen them, some said, Build a building over them, their Lord knoweth best about them. Those who prevailed in the matter said, A place of worship will we surely raise over them. Some said, They were 3, their dog the 4th. Others say, 5, their dog the 6th, guessing at the secret. Others say, 7, their dog the 8th. Say, my Lord best knoweth the number, save a few shall know them. Therefore be clear in thy discussions about them, and ask not any concerning them. Say not of a thing, I will surely do it tomorrow, without, inshallah, if God wills. And when thou hast forgotten, call thy Lord to mind, and say, Haply my Lord will guide me, that I may come near to the truth of this story with correctness. And they tarried in the cave 300 years and 9 over. 9 over would be the number of lunar years in the 300 solar years, 309 versus 300, which also some people say it's better, or the anyways, the Battle of Badr, was it that many people in the Battle of Badr? Was it that many? Who's going to accept 309 is a important number, although it's Say, God best knoweth how long they tarried. With him are the secrets of the heavens and of the earth. Look thou and hearken unto him alone. Man hath no guardian but him, and none may bear part in his judgments, and publish what hath been revealed to thee, the book of thy Lord. None may change his words, and thou shalt find no refuge besides him. Be patient with those who call upon their Lord at morn and even, seeking his face, and let not thine eyes be turned away. from them in quest of the pomp of this life, neither obey him whose heart we have made careless of the remembrance of us, and who followeth his own lusts, and whose ways who are unbridled, and say the truth is from your Lord. Let him then who will believe, and let him who will be an infidel. But for the offenders have we got ready the fire, whose smoke shall enwrap them, and if they implore help, help shall they be with water like molten brass, which shall scald their faces. Wretched the drink, and an unhappy couch. But as to those who have believed and done the things that are right, verily we will not suffer the reward of him whose works were good to perish. For them the gardens of Eden, under whose shade shall rivers flow. Decked shall they be therein with bracelets of gold, and green robes of silk, and rich brocade shall they wear. Reclining them therein are thrones, blissful the reward, and a pleasant couch. And many people say greens are the color of Friday. I especially like to wear the color of the day on Friday. But as to those who have believed and done the things that are right, verily we will not suffer the reward of him whose works were good to perish. For them the gardens of Eden, under whose shade shall rivers flow. Decked shall they be therein with bracelets of gold, and green robes of silk, and rich brocade shall they wear. Reclining then therein on thrones, blissful the reward, and a pleasant couch. And set forth to them as a parable to men, on one of whom we have bestowed 2 gardens of grapevines, and surrounded both with palm trees, and placed cornfields between them. Each of the gardens did yield its fruit, and failed not thereof at all. And we caused a river to flow in their midst. And this man received his fruit, and said, disputing with him, to his companion, More have I than thou of wealth, and my family here is mightier. And he went into his garden, to his own soul unjust, and said, I do not think that this will ever perish, and I do not think that the hour will come. And even if I be taken back to my Lord, I shall surely find a better than it in exchange. His fellows said to him, disputing with him, What? Hast thou no belief in him who created thee of the dust, then of the germs of life, then fashioned thee a perfect man? But God is my Lord, and no other being will I associate with my Lord. And why didst thou not say when thou enterest thy garden, What God willeth? There is no power but in God. Though thou seest that I have less than thou of wealth and children, yet haply my Lord may bestow on me better than thy garden, and may send his bolts out of heaven, so that the next dawn shall find it barren dust. So it's not Thor, it's not Balhadad, it's our various other, it's not Ravana, it's not It's God who sends the thunder and the lightning. Burn dust. Or its water become deep sunk, so that thou art unable to find it, and his fruits were encompassed. Then began he to turn down the palms of his hands at what he had spent on it, for its vines were falling down on their trellises. And he said, Oh, that I had not joined any other gods to my Lord! And he had no host to help him instead of God, neither was he able to help himself. Protection in such a case is of God, the truth. He is the best rewarder, and he bringeth to the best issue, and set before them the similitude of the present life. It is as water which we send down from heaven, and the herb of the earth is mingled with it, and on the morrow it becometh dry stubble, which the winds scatter. For God hath power over all things. Wealth and children are the adornments of this present life, but good works which are lasting are better in the sight of thy Lord as to recompense, and better as to hope. And call to mind the day when we will cause the mountains to pass away, and thou shalt see the earth a leveled plain, and we will gather together and not leave of them any one. We find out now how fragile the earth's crust is, and it really can crumble and dismantle, not only in a temporary, long-term, millions of years, mountains go up, mountains go down, things break apart. No, it's actual. It can happen a lot quicker than people realize. There can be catastrophic events that actually make the earth no longer a sphere, or just rumble it a bit. And they say, and they shall be set before thy Lord in ranks. Now are ye Thou shalt see the earth level plain, will gather together, leave them not anyone. They shall be set before thy Lord in ranks. Now are ye come unto us as we created you at first, but ye thought that we should not make good to you in the promise. And each shall have his book put, and thou shalt see the wicked in alarm at that which is therein, and they shall say, Oh, woe to us! What meaneth this book? It leaveth neither small nor great unnoted down, and they shall find all that they have wrought present to them, and thy Lord will not deal unjustly with any one. When we said to the angels, Prostrate yourselves before Adam, they all prostrated them save Iblees, who was of the jinn, the fire beings, the invisible beings, fallen angels, Davas, Asuras, fairy swords like that, and revolted from his Lord's behest. What will ye then take him and his offspring as patrons rather than me? And they, your enemies, sad exchange for the ungodly. Asura means ungodly, in the Sanskrit languages. I made them not witness of the creation of the heavens and of the earth, nor of their own creation, neither did I take seducers as my helpers. On a certain day God shall say, Call ye on the companions ye joined with me, deeming them to be gods, and they shall call on them, but they shall not answer them. Then will we place a valley of perdition between them, and the wicked shall see in the fire,
and shall have a foreboding that they shall be flung unto it, and they shall find no escape from it.
And now in this Koran we presented to man similitudes of every kind, but at most things is man a cavalier, And what now that guidance is come to them, letteth man from believing and from asking forgiveness of their Lord, unless they wait till that the doom of the ancients overtake them, or that the chastisement come upon them in the slight of the universe. We send not our sent ones, avatars, apostles, various words like that, Rasul. What's the plural of Rasul? I'll find that later. But to announce and to warn, but the infidels cavil with vain words in order to refute the truth, and they treat my signs and their own warnings with scorn. Al-Mursaleen, the messengers. But who is worse than he who, when told of the signs of his Lord, turneth him away and forgetteth what in time passeth his hand, in what in time past his hands have wrought? Truly we have thrown veils over their hearts, lest they should understand this, and into their ears a heaviness. And if thou bid them to the guidance, yet will they not even then be guided ever. The gracious one, full of compassion, is thy Lord. If he would have chastised them for their demerits, he would have hastened their chastisement, but they